Alright, y'all, so we are back with Miss Kelli, MISF. So definitely want to make sure that the viewers get a chance to understand who you are, what you stand for, and what's actually going on. So we're going to kiki it a little bit, and then we're going to find out more about you. So we're going to start. How do you identify? What are your pronouns?
My pronouns are she, her.
Okay. Then with the they, how does that work for you? How did you be, or how does one become comfortable with they?
Hey, I'm every woman.
Is that one of your pronouns?
And
Are we adding they to yours?
Boom.
Yeah, you can add they to mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
What does every woman encompass, though?
Every woman accomplishes so much. We take on so much. We oh my God. We are the nurturers.
Okay.
We're business women. We are we're everything.
Okay. Which also you are the queen of trans soul.
Yes, I am.
Now who coined this trans soul? And tell me all about her.
Well, okay. So, long story short, I released a project last summer.
Okay.
It's called Transcendence, by the way. It's available everywhere, y'all. Any live streaming outlet available, it's there. So there was my music. My first single came out as an R&B single,
Okay.
which was called "Hey Love."
Okay.
"Hey Love" came out, was getting great buzz. Then came "I Win." So there was a DJ overseas that was listening to my material, and he was like, "Wow." He said, you have that soul. It's something, that soul about you. You have the sounds of Sylvester, Aretha Franklin, a little bit of Patty. You got this soul thing going on. And these are queens. These are icons. These are people who really made a statement in the music industry. I was like, "Oh, thank you." So then he goes on to say, "Well, and then you're trans too." He said, "Wow." He said, "That's like amazing." So then I just started thinking, like, queen, trans, soul, and that's what I came up with. So and it seemed like it registered well, because I sing from the soul. First of all, anybody who knows me know that I sing, and sure you at this table have heard me sing before. I sing from the soul.
I need you to trademark that, because
Absolutely.
10 years from now, you be like, that's gonna be
She's gonna be Aretha.
That's gonna be a billboard.
I was her.
That was my saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got
You better trademark that.
Yeah, you better.
Before I do it. That
motherfucker. I said it first on live, okay?
Yeah.
So y'all got you.
She added the I'm the queen.
And then I have a witness here.
Like that motherfucker that went behind my check.
Now write a check. So is there a princess or there other girls who are in the same industry who are trans doing the same thing?
Oh gosh, there's so many of us now that are embarking in our talents. Whether it's music, movies, film, whatever. It's so many of us that are coming to light. But in the music industry, yes, there are a lot of trans women who are coming forth and with singing, rapping, stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Oftentimes you hear with R&B, hip hop, there's a lot of gay bashing or negative comments in music or just in the culture in general. What are you doing to change that? How's it affecting you? I guess the way normally we hear R&B, hip hop music feels about the LGBTQ plus community.
Well, so I was having a conversation the other day about this. First of all, it's all about your brand and who you are. First of all, and how you represent yourself when you're coming forth on the platform, whatever platform that you're doing, and especially in music, and especially in R&B music, there's a certain protocol. There's a certain style or certain thing that you do to fit into that bracket. Me as a trans woman, by me studying the greats and watching them move and watching them flow and in the industry and stuff, I took on that. There's a lot of the personas of how they move and how they interact, and it resonated inside of me. So, like, the funny thing about it is, when my project dropped, and people started seeing me, seeing my stuff and reading my bio and seeing I was trans. They were listening to the music like, wow, this is something like serious. This is not no gimmicky thing. No, this is not something. This is on a respect level. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was doing something that was gimmicky, like I said just a few minutes ago. So, and I'm conveying a positive message. I know my lane. I'm not a twerker. I'm not singing twerk music and all that, and and all that. I know my lane, and it seemed like the transition for me was easier going into inspirational music, R&B music, inspirational dance music, inspirational everything. It seemed like it's just easy for me to step into that and be accepted more.
Now, music in general, while we're there and your music, I recently heard that you had a major accomplishment. You were on how many ballots?
Oh God, I was on 9 Grammy ballots.
Wow.
This past Grammy season. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And now explain that for our viewers, what that means.
Okay, a ballot is an entry. Okay. When you yourself enter yourself or someone enters you into something and people either vote for you or put you in what's going on, and that's what happened to me. I was quite shocked. Like, what? Like, when I got the news, I was like, wow. Like, is this really true? And when I looked at the email, coming from the Grammy Academy, I was like, wow. Like, this is major. You know what I mean? And it was so overwhelming. It was exciting, and it just it confirmed in me that I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? God is in the mix of all this. And he's saying, it's your time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you go out there and you put the music out, you put the work out, you put the message out, and just let it flow. Just let it flow. So that was very major. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, yes, I'm a part of the Grammys.
Right.
Like, I felt like, wow.
Did you? Go ahead.
So, in turn, it's going to open doors for everyone.
I was going to say, even with that, like, did you receive anything in the mail or like anything official, like a letter or anything?
They emailed me.
Okay.
Yeah, I have an email in my phone. They emailed me and said congratulations.
Wow.
Did you post that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I made a whole little paragraph about it because I was reluctant to post it because I was like, well, should you post it? Should you? Some said post it.
Why were you reluctant?
I was reluctant because, being a trans artist, first of all, it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy, and a lot of times, people don't take you serious unless you're doing something that's more so
in the box.
Yeah,
in the box, or either something that's outside of the type of music that I do. Okay, and like I said, I'm an inspirational singer, songwriter. So I write inspirational music and sing inspirational music. So it was like, wow. I said, I wonder how they can take to that. Some said, you know what? You are part of the Grammys because they sent you this notification saying congratulations. So put a post up, share it with the world, let everybody know that, listen, there's hope, there is a possibility.
So you're also a songwriter.
Yes, I'm a songwriter as well.
That's what I'm
saying.
Yes. And this album, I have to shout out to my wonderful producer, Mr. Devon Howard, who...
Devontae? Jodeci? No.
No. No,
Get back on track.
But Devon Howard, him and I sat and co-wrote this whole album together.
Okay.
10 songs, we wrote the whole album together.
Kelli, so just a question. So with your recent success, do you feel as though, like, if you were to I guess go further and go beyond to where where you're at now, do you see your music changing any? Do you feel as though, like, if you want to conform to, I guess, the whatever some of the executives, the big executives want you, if they want you to change, maybe the type of music that you sing, do you see yourself doing anything like that?
first of all, I'm an independent artist. So, I'm enjoying being an independent artist right now because, you get more say so in your whole setup.
Mhm.
Your look, more so in your brand, whatever brand that you're pushing, you get more say so without having the big wigs tell you, listen, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
You're going to sing this, you're going to look like this, and that's it. So I'm enjoying the freedom of being an independent artist, and it works really, really well for me because I have created. And first of all, I want to say this. This is not my first show at the rodeo. I've been singing now and singing and recording for 20 years.
How'd you start singing?
I started singing back in the 90s. I started singing house music. Mm-hmm.
Anything moving now?
Well, I did a couple of Sylvester cover tunes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did do a couple of those, and from there, there's so much stuff that I've done, do it down through the years. But this is not my first time at the rodeo, so I'm glad that the comfortability was there for me this time around. Me being in my transition. And me being trans woman and doing what I do, like I said, my brand is what I'm pushing. So I'm just glad that I don't have that pressure of the big wigs telling me,
Okay.
So, but if I had to do other music, I don't mind switching it up just a little bit. Bring a little.
No trap coming.
Little City Girls.
Miss Kelli, trap music.
She could be a classy trap.
Classy trap music.
Classy trap. Trans trap.
What y'all think
Inspirational
about
trap.
music? Let you know the
Trans trap.
trans trap.
Well, is the ball the person who does? Well, I believe he still goes by he.
Okay.
But he does trap. I could be wrong.
You talking about
Cliff.
Cliff?
He's Cliff.
Ooh, you better grab my hair.
Cliff V. Mary. He is dressed, and I think he's had like a butt put on. But I don't think he wants. I think he says he doesn't want to be a girl.
Then they don't count.
That's why I got kind of confused.
Yeah, he doesn't count.
Well, but each to his own. Everybody's making their way and they're making their lane.
That's right.
So if it works for them, it works for them. But I just, like I said, with me, if a major came and said, listen, we want to, incorporate you on our label.
You'll consider it.
I guess I would. But
Trade.
yeah.
Well, we want to keep in touch with Miss Kelli and find out what her journey is going to be in the next couple of years, because this show not going nowhere. So we will have a follow-up update for all of your fans who want to see you progress and where you go in the next year or two. We're happy that you came on to share your journey as we embark on ours. So we're appreciative.
Yes,
anything else you want to leave us with?
Yeah. And I want to say to my viewers, listen, go follow this amazing part.
Talk on the table.
It's called Talk
on the
underscore table. You can find them on all social media platforms. This is an amazing group of people spreading positivity in the community. So let's all support each other. Let's all support our Black community as well, and let's just start thinking more in a positive mindset, for better change.
Mm-hmm. And your fans know, thank you for letting them know where they can find us. Tell our fans where they can find you and your music.
Okay, well, you can find me at Miss Kelli on Facebook. You can find me at Brown Eyes 200 on Instagram, and you can also find me on my regular Facebook page is Kalia Brown. But just note that there's two different entities there. So
two different personalities.
On scene, no. Right, but I'm just saying, you can just find me there. Go follow me. My album is out called Transcendence. It's available everywhere. You guys go get that. There's something on there, at least a little bit of something on there for everybody to enjoy. So, yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Right, we'll be right back with talks from other people's tables.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to Talk on the Table.
Welcome back.
We have Welcome back to me.
We
Yes,
didn't miss you.
I miss
Somebody
you.
was gunning for your spot, by the way.
They put another little chocolate
They can't
boy
fill
in your
these shoes.
seat.
And they said he's an editor too, right?
He is. And
So
he
he
got
got-
camera equipment.
We got more to offer.
He don't look like me.
Listen, ain't nobody taking our means place on
Thank you.
As long as
That should be
I'm not taking this spot.
That's
baby.
that. Well, thank you for having Miss Kelly on. But we're going to get into this segment where we call Talks from Other People's Tables. This is where our viewers submit questions to us, and we present those questions on the table. So we're going to dive right in. So these are a little bit more political. These are not like the raunchy questions that we're used to. So
Somebody
We
else
got
on
some-
vacation.
yeah, we got some sophisticated listeners.
viewers now.
All right, so the first question we have on the table, y'all. What presidential candidate speaks best to the needs of the underrepresented minority population? And examples they put is minorities, meaning racial or even the LGBTQ. So what presidential candidate?
Yes. Bring them back.
I know. So what do you guys think? The current presidential pool.
I have no idea. I haven't been following. Honestly, I haven't been following like I should.
Mm-hmm.
But I did watch the debate the other day, and I at this point I just
Still don't know. Still don't know.
So
I don't know who.
yeah, because you know what? It's so like I don't know. It's so confusing to me because it's like okay, so everybody's fighting for the spot.
Nobody.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
And from what's going on currently now in the administration, like definitely, I'm not hearing what I need to hear right now, really from them. Like you know what I'm saying?
So do we change or keep what we got or?
Oh, we definitely got to pick somebody.
We got it. I mean, what we got?
Change.
Are we going to get any better?
Yes.
Well, first of all, okay, so we all know whatever president comes in, like especially Democrats, have to come in and kind of clean up with the next president.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a difficult
so
task.
there's a lot of cleanup and stuff that has to be done, for this next election and stuff. Whoever comes in, you got to clean up the previous president's mess.
And that takes time.
My thing is, I would hope, even if Trump, as much as I despise him, if he wins, my next best thing would be if the Senate and the House could change. The House is currently Democrat. So if the Senate can flip, we can flip it. I think right now it's like 52-47 Republicans versus Democrats. If they can flip that to a couple more where those Democrats can hold those Republican seats, and we can get the majority in the Senate, I think we'll be in a better position because this whole the thing with Trump, being impeached and everything, it all came down to how many votes they had in the Senate, and the Republicans held the majority, so they were able to acquit him.
So let's be clear. He was impeached.
He was impeached.
He was. That's on the
But
record.
he wasn't.
He wasn't
removed because of the votes,
Right.
because of the Republican votes. So we can flip those. If Democrats can come in and flip those votes in the Senate, I mean, it could help.
So him being impeached, what does that?
It's on his record. It doesn't look good.
Who gives a shit?
Well,
Put that on my credit.
It's kind of like nobody wants to be
I don't
registered
think
as
you can.
a sex
You
offender.
can still like.
You might have whatever, but it's like to have something that tarnishes your
What is that going to stop him
reputation.
from doing in the future?
Oh,
Doesn't he still?
nothing.
Well, I mean, it's
does he
a
still
part
got
of
paid
history.
for the rest of his life?
Well, it's a part of history, though. I mean, when you look at
But I don't think he cares about that.
well, he doesn't care, but I think the people
win the
care.
presidency seat.
Oh, he was expecting to win it.
Well,
He wasn't expecting.
You don't think he expected
No, he
it?
said that shit.
Oh, I never.
I
I
don't
thought
think
he
he
knew
expected
going in. I got it.
Yeah. It was a joke. They said
Yeah.
it wasn't serious. The wife was like, he was like, oh shit.
I'm sure he probably was.
Yeah, it was that whole presidency thing was a whole debacle to me. It was a big debacle.
What do you need to hear? You said
Yeah, what do you need to hear?
Haven't heard what you needed to hear yet. What is it you're looking to hear from the candidates?
Like, okay, first of all, from this whole campaign with Trump, right? It just seemed like to me, his whole agenda was to provide jobs and boost the economy,
Mhm.
okay, because he's clearly a man about money,
Business.
business.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
businessman.
He's a businessman.
So, like, from this situation, I know Bernie Sanders and them are, discussing health care and all that stuff, and and trying to,
Healthcare for all.
and trying to
Free education.
right for education, all that. And, I mean, but I'm just saying, I don't know, I'm just not up the energy.
And you're not processing it right now, right?
No, because I think because of so much what Donald Trump has done,
Yeah.
it has really desensitized a lot of
things.
When it should have woken
I agree. No, I agree. It's like you get to the point where it's like, damn, can I really affect change? Like, can I be a part of the change? And it's like,
but guess what? What we have to do? I was just having this conversation the other day with someone. What we have to do is continue to vote, continue to go to the polls and
But
vote.
vote for who though?
but
I mean,
Honestly, but the voting starts way beyond.
But just playing devil's advocate. But just playing devil's advocate. I know we only have a little bit of time.
The locals have the power.
The locals have the most
change
power.
that we want.
So, a question, just being devil's advocate. So we have, we have a Republican in office. Things appear to be. I mean, despite all the other stuff that could be going on, the country seems to be going into an okay direction. So to speak. Okay, I'm just talking about the economy. Economically.
Right.
So we have we look at the city of Philadelphia, who's primarily run by Democrats. We look at all these major cities that are primarily run by Democrats. Do you think things would become better for our people if Trump is not in office?
Yes, and I think the thing to say is not
it's a
necessarily
question, right?
just for our people, for all people.
Mm-hmm.
This is like my biggest issue, and I know a friend of mine was like, "Oh, but you're being so sensitive about it." I am. I don't understand how in 2020 you can lock up any race of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are, I want to be politically correct when I say Mexicans, Latino, brown people, in cages.
I know.
Separated from their parents, just like Japanese were done to in this country, black people were done in this country. But in 2020, I get you're illegal, something else has to be done. Because they're not all murderers and killers the way that he portrayed these people. But you have these brown people, children months old, being watched by 6 years old because you said, okay, if their parents committed a crime, fine. But you lock them up in these cages that aren't fit for animals. They're sleeping on floors. I think that is horrible.
What about the crime the crime that's going on in the city that's just
with the jails? I think that's horrible.
The jails,
Listen,
do you think things are going to change?
It's all about money.
I'm just not with the separation.
I think we have to start from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we just keep on putting in and doing the positive work that we're doing, and let's just hope and pray that it finally at some point just catches on, and people start desensitizing their minds and their brains and be like, you know what, enough is enough.
Okay. All right. All right, we're back. All right, y'all. So
we're back alive and in living color. We are back.
What else?
I know. All right, so we're back, y'all. Oh, you want to know? All right, I'll tell you after the break. All right, so going into our second question, y'all. How do you feel about gay couples adopting children?
I love it.
For it.
I'm for it.
I'm for anybody that's willing to provide a happy, safe, comfortable home and going to love and build and grow a child. I'm fine with that.
Next question.
Moving forward.
Oh, nobody wants to elaborate on that. And why? But why though? I mean, do you think that some social workers out there are looking at you as you're. I'm ignorant towards the gay lifestyle. So, are you going to brainwash these kids into being gay?
Out of nothing.
No, I'm not.
Move forward. It's like,
I agree with y'all. By the way, I agree with y'all. I'm just looking at.
I think it's good. I think, and I can't speak to.
Straights raise the gays.
They birthed the gays.
My mom just said to me, he said, do you think your son is going to grow up to be gay? And I said, well,
who said that?
My mom. I said, why? She said, because he sees, you interacting with another guy. I said, but keep in mind, Mom, I was brought up by you, who I seen you with A plethora.
Oh,
That was good.
Okay. Well, check this. At the end,
A plethora of uncles.
right. Well, check this. At the end of the day, we all have our own individual identity. Just because you have gay parents, or you have gay parents who adopt children out here who need love, doesn't mean that the children are going to be gay.
And that's what I told her. I
You know what I'm
said,
saying? But what?
you like what you
I'm
like.
telling you, I just cannot. I cannot just gather my mind around these
Well,
people
the
and
human
their
race, we're trying to
I know.
we're trying to
and
get
how
it
they
together.
Yeah.
think. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think
Every-
anybody is
Okay,
gonna-
can I interject? Prime example. I'm sorry, really quick. When I was younger, my younger brother, he's 15 years younger than me. When he was born, and I was going through my days of being, and stuff like that. My father had a problem with him hanging around me and being around me because he thought that
It was gonna rub
I
off.
was going to rub off on him, and how he turned out to be now at a 34-year-old man. At 34 years old, he is a straight heterosexual male.
Yeah.
He lives a heterosexual life, but he loves me for who I am. You know what I mean? My decision and my choice in my life is my choice
Exactly
and my
that.
decision. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So this thing about rubbing off, or they see you doing this. Listen, these kids got
Like
their own
it's dirt.
identities and their own personality.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
you gay.
Right. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what I mean? Like,
I don't want that disease.
I think the other
Right.
thing to remember is a lot of times gay couples take on the children that are thrown away by the heterosexuals, whether there's some sort of
Not
deformity,
thrown away.
handicap, and they decide that they have the love and the resources to give this child who needs it, so they adopt them and they raise these
And not
children.
only that, there are gay people who are having children.
oh yeah.
The natural way. There are gay men who are sleeping with biological women to have children.
And the
So
crazy part- the crazy part
does
about
that
it is-
mean that the child's going to be gay? Because you have a gay father and maybe the mother's straight or whatever, or have a situation. That doesn't mean that the child's going to be that way.
Yeah. All right, y'all.
It's,
All right. Well, thank y'all for your insight.
You're welcome.
So,
Adopt a child.
adopt a child. There you go.
Yes,
a child in need. Adopt a child.
Adopt a child.
No
That's
child
right.
left behind.
Right.
There you go.
No, there's plenty got left.
All right.
Adopt a child.
All right. Another question we have is: do you think the police are doing enough to protect transgender people of color from violence?
Okay, well,
How do you speak? Do you speak?
okay,
No, do you think? Do you think?
okay.
Anyway, yeah, you can start off, Ms.
Okay.
Kelly.
Let's just say that it's slowly but surely getting better. Slowly but surely. Because I think more so now, and I think I'm starting to see this more so often, that they are bringing case sensitivity classes in the workplace now, more so than before. And which is bringing forth understanding of how to relate and deal with the LGBTQ community when it comes to things like that. Learning the pronouns.
I'm about to say, I think I need to go to one of those sensitivity classes because I've been confused as hell.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. I mean,
and I'm a whole
Well, life is trial and error. You know what I mean? You gotta.
well, right. I mean, exactly. And to have a clear understanding and to have education first makes it better for you to be able to relate and adapt to certain situations and certain things with trans people. I know one situation. I was downtown really quick, and a girlfriend of mine was with me, and an officer
Where was you at
addressed
downtown?
her. The scandal of it all. But the officer addressed her as he, because when they asked for identification, the trans woman didn't have her name changed. So, by that name not being changed, he addressed her as he, right? And so, but clearly she was in woman form. So,
That's a state issue.
yeah, that was maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Prior to this
Now,
whole
right? So now we have it where so you can get your identification, your name change, your placard change, your sex on the identification
Yeah.
to match who you are as an individual people. So when the police department, approach you, or they have problems, or you have problems, they are learning more now about how to address.
Yeah. So you think
transgender
it starts with education. It starts with being people. It starts with individuals being knowledgeable of what to, how to approach a transgender person and how to treat them.
Yes.
And then I guess with that it goes into protecting and
About to treat them as a human being.
Baby, I'm glad
Yeah.
you said that. I was just going to say that.
you shouldn't have to have
First of
education
all,
for that.
yeah.
Outside of what's on the outside,
You're human.
we are human first.
That's right. Yeah.
We
But
I
back in the day, we were considered less than human. So as
Well,
black people,
So do you think?
Yeah.
3 things.
right, we were dehumanized, but the thing is, human first.
But going back to going back to the question though, with the sudden rise in violence against transgender people, do you think that the police are doing enough? Do you think that these Congress people are doing enough
Well, I think
to make sure that
they need to do
transgenders are
more.
protected?
They need to do more.
Okay.
They need to step up to the plate and do more. Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Well, let
Because
me.
with the killings against trans people, trans men and women, men and women, but most of the trans women are the ones that are heavily under attack. And for what reason? I
that's
don't
not the
understand.
police fault, right? It's just
No,
they're
it's-
just not doing enough to find the attackers.
Okay, so that's what I was getting to.
Okay.
There's not enough. There's not enough focus being. There's not enough energy being put into that.
How do you
to
know
make
that
sure.
though? It's just, I mean, if it's just because it's not televised doesn't mean they're not working. I'm just playing devil's
Well,
advocate.
okay, so then we have those that are televised. We have those that we see on social media where they say, we captured so and so, for doing this, blah blah blah. We see those things, and you're right. Behind the scenes, we may not get to see all that. You know what I mean? But I just think still, with more training and with more education, I think that would help. And
also
protect
having
us.
people of position in those roles.
Exactly.
But that's why we got Officer
Exactly.
Benton in office now.
Benson.
Maybe whatever. He can go on and become lieutenant, sergeant, or whatever.
But let me ask. I guess when I'm hearing the protection part, like, what are they doing to protect?
1 minute.
Ooh. Depending on where they are, where they might need protecting. And I'm not saying that they're putting themselves in positions to do anything. And I don't know what kind of jobs all of the ones in Philadelphia have, so I don't want to make it sound that way either. But if there are places where some women who can't find traditional employment are going, what am I trying to say? There's something that comes along with doing what some are doing. And if a cop is there to protect, it's also not a legal thing. So it's kind of, I'm not saying that anything should happen to these people regardless of what kind of work that they're doing. I guess, I don't even have enough time to really delve into it. But I'm wondering, how do I protect somebody that's doing something they shouldn't but need to do, if that makes sense?
I'm not going to help you cure something that's illegal that you're doing illegal. So you're saying, like, why would the cops protect somebody who's doing something illegal?
And not so much why. I think, like you mentioned, the energy of something does happen is still a crime, regardless of what kind of, and I'm speaking on sex work. If I'm doing that, yes, it's a crime, but if I say no is no, and then it becomes rape. I get that. But if I'm out here and I'm doing this and I understand consequences could happen, when I hear protecting me from it, I'm choosing to go out here. I'm not signing up for a rape. I'm choosing to do this particular job.
Well,
how do you protect me?
Well, first of all, nobody deserves to be
Murdered.
No.
They don't deserve to be beaten.
Correct.
They don't deserve to be all that above.
Unless I didn't get my happy ending.
Regardless of what type of work you're doing, but if we're speaking on sex work, and you say it's maybe it's considered a crime, but still need protection. Well, listen, there are people out here who are doing all types of things, whether it's sex work or whatever, and they are doing it illegally, but still need the protection of the force, whatever it is, to make sure that
That's their job.
you
That's
know,
their
because
job.
right, 'cause that's their job. You
Yeah,
know,
but
to
what
make-
kind of work does somebody go to that they shouldn't but need to go to where police protection to do that job is given?
Well, I mean, any job. I mean, you know, you work for the post office, or you work for.
It's not illegal.
Oh, so we're speaking illegal still.
Which there's two parts to
I
it.
get it.
So I don't want
I get
anybody
it.
to say I'm saying
Why
or
would protect you?
condemning.
No.
Illegal.
Yeah, I get it.
It's
Well,
more like
but
it's
still,
more like-
if something happens to
As
me,
Miss,
yes.
listen. No, as Miss Kelly explained, I think we're all human. I think it's the job
absolutely.
it's the job of police officers to protect and serve, whether you're doing it illegally or legally.
Well,
If you're out here doing drugs,
That's
if
like
you're out here,
that's like a
no,
waste.
if you're out here
I
doing
understand
drugs,
that, but that's
and
like
you-
a waste. That's like a waste of fucking
That's not. We're human. We're human.
Let me
We're
tell you.
human.
So then,
I'm not
why
saying-
are the drug dealers still represented in court?
Well,
Exactly.
They pay for the
Exactly.
training.
No, a lot of times they have what they call it.
That's right. I think
They don't pay for that.
So everybody
That's
deserves a
law,
fair. So under the Constitution,
Mm-hmm.
everybody deserves a fair trial.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Regardless if you're doing right or wrong.
Yep.
You have that right to have representation.
right?
So in the midst of outside of that, street workers or whatever, you know, you get caught, you get busted.
Have those rights.
Right. Or
But
you,
if we're speaking on protection from the police, what I'm saying is because there are two parts that I think we're kind of around but missing. Drug dealers don't get protected from other drug dealers who might want to kill them. You can go to jail and go through that or not go to jail, go to court and go through the process, same as anybody else. Due process. Those are your rights. You guilty until found innocent. Did I just say that right? But if I am saying I'm going out here to work the stroll, you can't have a cop sit there to make sure that the girls are safe while they're doing an illegal.
No. I disagree with that. I
I
disagree because
especially
especially if you have a high number of transgender people being victims of violence, there should be some sort, regardless of what they do illegally or what they do out there in the street,
So
there should be some cop there looking into why these transgender people are.
No, and that's what I'm saying. The fine line is where we're missing. The cop should be, because we're talking about protection.
Yes.
So there should be a cop on the corner making sure that the girls that are illegally
but they should be investigating whatever crime that's occurring within that area.
But first of all, when I first get there, the crime is what I see you doing.
They ain't worried about that.
But that's what I'm saying, though. When we talk about the protection, I don't want to
I got you.
That I'm
40
saying
seconds.
what happens after should be swept under the rug.
I see what you
Again, regardless of if I'm a normal house person who decides I want a new bag and I'm about to go pop this puss for some money and I get raped instead, I should be treated fairly. If they say, well, why at 3 a.m. did you go to the man's house and you didn't know him? He told me he was going to pay me and give me my bag money. Okay. Or if I'm out here every night doing it. If I said no is no, and that's the
Honey,
I'm talking about the protection before.
I don't know. I think the protection part of it. I'm not sure where this person is going with it.
Bodyguard shit, right?
Yeah, I think we're talking about policies. I think we're talking about laws being in place to protect transgender people from any type of.
Because still, we all deserve, regardless, to be protected.
Yeah.
Because we are human.
Yes.
But not like bodyguard type
No.
stuff. Like,
Okay,
while I'm out there on the stroll,
Exactly.
No, I don't think we're
Protect
talking about
my
that.
rights. If something happens to me,
Right,
I want to be treated fairly.
Right, exactly.
Process.
Because what happens is, until proven guilty, right?
Mm-hmm.
what until proven guilty?
I'm saying, you know, if you're out doing something and you're doing what you're doing, right?
What am I doing?
Unless they catch you in the act, or they can prove that you're doing this thing that's illegal, then they can't. You can't prove nothing. You know, you see them on the street. You see the streetwalkers on the street. Or
That don't mean nothing.
Or whatever. Unless they catch you in the act.
I can walk the beat.
You get the coin.
Yeah.
The guy giving you a coin, and you actually doing the do whatever, or you doing what you're doing. Then they have a
You out there
obligation.
You could be out there selling lemonade.
Look, you know what I'm doing out there.
Listen, at 3 o'clock in the morning.
get thirsty at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to my kitchen to grab that
But like I
but
said,
if I'm out,
everybody deserves to be protected.
Yep.
And as crazy as it seems, and it may not seem right for you say for people who are doing the wrong deeds, but even the wrong deeds need to be protected.
No, and that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
SVU, my favorite show, Law and Order. You see all the time a prostitute I didn't want to. I said no. He creeped me out. I think her right's the same as Angelica, who went on a date and said no. I don't think there's any difference. So that's not what I'm saying. When we're talking about the protection part. When we say, however the question was posed, it's, I guess if a cop or the government was to say, we want to make sure this doesn't happen, like you said, they can get into the car with anybody and do anything. I guess the question is kind of like, how do I protect
that would be
somebody when I know when you know and I know what the risks are daily?
Okay.
How do I not in the end, but not in the end? How do I protect your life, not your rights? How do I protect your life?
But taking away sex work. What about just the average transgender woman who's just going to work, office work?
Oh yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally
that could be somebody could drive past and see them walking and say, "Oh, I can't stand."
And
something that goes into where I said the rights.
Right.
Just like any other human being, if something happened to my life, in the end, I want it to be treated respectfully.
Got you.
And treated fairly, just like anyone else.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And not feel like, because I'm doing this,
you deserve it.
I get the lack thereof.
Okay.
No, in the amendments in our rights, we are to be protected. As a human race. That's why they have these police departments and these different entities.
Our president don't even follow that shit. So.
Grab him out of what?
All right, y'all. We're gonna put that where
there.
All right, cool. So we drilled that topic. So we got another question, y'all. Oh. Can a bottom test his topness?
Now these are the questions that I like.
So this is
wow.
So you want to explain what? So you did that.
You get a top. You get a top.
So you want to explain what a bottom is, and then explain what a bottom.
You know what a bottom is?
Smile
ear to ear.
A bottom is the receiving end of pleasure. Receiving end of pleasure. The top is the person who is giving, the giver of anal sex. Okay? So the question again is, can a bottom test his topness?
He can. So I feel.
Where are you?
I'm not testing anything. I know exactly what I want, but I don't want you to test it on me. Yes. Don't test it on me, though. Like, I feel like, I guess have that conversation with somebody. If you're getting with somebody, just let them know, hey, I normally don't do this, but I'm kind of interested, so I may be a little clumsy.
Okay.
No. But what is that?
I want to know.
That's good, though.
Your first time?
What if that shit was good? You had it.
Then I'm gonna be like, what you call him, Johnny? I'll do a fin top. I'll do it this. I'll do it that.
But you know what? But there's so much fluidity in sex now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Sex is so
fluid,
fluent, more so now than
I'm
ever.
old.
It's who you want. It's who you're attracted to.
Who you're attracted to, what you're into.
Yep.
You can find somebody who can match that nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so it's so present, forever present now, and it's so in our faces.
So many categories.
You know, because what happens is, like you guys are gay males, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Well,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
What's your pronoun?
So here's the thing. So then you have to talk about the laws of attraction, okay? Because you may be a bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you present yourself masculine, like you got yourself geared up, and you giving that that allure of a masculine man, but you like to receive. You know what y'all are just
I know
y'all. Don't do that shit.
He's a bald-headed liar.
Oh my God. I'm just saying, bottoms can be very deceiving.
I'm watching him.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I came across some bottoms that gave me masculinity.
And what happened?
But baby, when it came, when it was in the bed,
You know what you doing.
it was a whole different story. And I'm scratching my head like, wow.
So how do you answer that situation?
Well, sis, if it ain't, listen to me very well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am a girl who is all for you being yourself and being true to who you are. But I cannot see myself having any type of relationship sexually with a man of any source who puts hair on like, or puts a full weave on like I do and beats their face and gives me all of this extra stuff that, you know, I am a girl who likes men.
Mm-hmm.
I like men. I'm
Bottom or top, man?
Okay, so if he's just, oh my God, y'all gonna get me there.
Please answer.
You better say it. Go ahead.
Listen.
We only have 30 seconds.
I love a top man.
Okay.
I love a top man.
Now y'all should high five.
I love a top man, and I don't foresee myself, the bottom thing, bottom man.
Y'all should exchange numbers and talk.
I mean, granted, if you have other sexual exploitations that you like to do, then that's fine. I can pull out the child in the drawer and let you get your life. The man paying.